Backlash predictions. Circling back. Start with Dirty Dom Mysterio taking on Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. Sarah, who are we picking?
I'm sticking with Daddy Dom. I think it's too early for him to lose the title. I don't love that he's going against Penta because it's like if anyone is going to beat him, you would think it would be Penta. But I don't like the idea of Dominic being the IC champion for 2 weeks and that's it. I also don't think Penta is in a spot where he has to be the IC champion right now. And I think that if they're going to have them feud, this can be drawn out for a while. It doesn't have to be like a 1 week feud because he just came out and did his little walk on the desk and it was like, they have a match now at Backlash. And it's like, okay. But I think that there's more that they could explore in a feud between them. So I want to see Dominic win.
I'm all in on Dirty Dom. Penta doesn't. Penta. I don't want to see Penta as champ right now. The chase is what I want to see with Penta. The drama lies within Dom winning. Like that's where. That's what I see.
This is a possibility. I would say.
Like yeah, that's the drama. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like Dom winning is either because of interference from him. Baby Dom.
That's the Dommy Dom. Yeah. I think that has to be it right now. It's 2 weeks is too soon to take the title off him. So
yeah, I agree with that one. All right. Both fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. Champion Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre.
Jacob Fatu is retaining. Again, being champion for 2 weeks is not enough when you put it on a guy like Jacob Fatu. So the way that I think that they'll go about it is they're going to want to split off the feuds. So Jacob will have like a one-on-one feud probably with one of the guys in this match, or I don't know, maybe somebody outside of it. And then, maybe two of them go and have their own feud that doesn't involve the title, to like keep that going. But I would assume we're going to see Fatu retain, and I hope Priest eats the pin. That's all I hope. As long as it's not Drew.
I saw LA Knight. I would see from here. I want to see like LA Knight and Drew. Like I want that to be a feud from this.
It might be because Drew already did a thing with Damian, so it's like we don't need that again.
Now I want Damian to do his own thing. I want him to.
I don't know whatever that is, but
but like stay on SmackDown, but feud with someone else. I want to see LA Knight and Drew McIntyre have the feud of the summer.
That'd be cool. It also just feels weird seeing Drew in like the US title picture. Like I get it, but it's also like kind of weird, because it's just weird when the last championship he held was like the world heavyweight, and now he's like, I'm going for the US title, and you're like, what?
You just want to be champ, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna do it. Phil being a Grand Slam champion. All right, that's that. Lyra Valkyria taking on Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
This one I feel like is a little bit tricky because Lyra is basically the only one walking in with a title that she did not win at Mania. So I feel like the possibility of a title change.
Yeah, the odds are higher. Odds are better.
Yes. However, this is a feud that has only been going on for 2 weeks. So I don't particularly love that aspect of it, to say that Lyra is going to lose. I think that definitely puts a lot more heat on Becky if she wins. And that would work. And it feels like there's more for a comeback story or like a way to be triumphant for Lyra if Becky wins. But I don't know that I don't know. I'm kind of torn.
My thing with it is that, what I think is going to happen, or hold on. I'm like having a brain glitch here.
I see.
This feud needs to continue.
Yeah.
Like this feud needs to continue because the only way I see that continuing and still having intrigue is Becky winning.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Lyra has never lost to Becky, Becky
Right.
still needs to win, as I said, for legitimizing the women's intercontinental title. So I see Becky taking this
Well,
and continuing this, and this is like going to be a long feud that, between the Becky stuff, between the Becky stuff, Bailey stuff, I mean, with her and Lyra being it's I could like it for the, summer, like have these three like feud for the entire summer.
yeah, see, like I assume that Becky's going to win, and I feel like she has to win at some point. I'm just like unsure if this is when. However, I that's why I was saying I feel like for story purposes for the feud, it might be okay for her to win now, and I feel it's like that makes more sense to continue the story, because if Lyra retains, unless it is like I saw the bad guy in the chat say, like if Bailey came in and interfered or something and helped Lyra, that's the only way that I could see the way of Lyra retaining in the story continuing, because otherwise if she just beats Becky, then why would Becky get a rematch?
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't make any. I know it's wrestling, so anything can happen and they can just come up with some BS reason. But if we're really trying to like make this story good and like legitimate, it doesn't really make any sense for Lyra to then grant her a rematch when she didn't need it. Like she doesn't have to do that. So I guess I'll go with Becky, and then maybe Lyra wins it back at like SummerSlam, or maybe if they do Evolution or something. Like I don't think Becky will be IC champ for very long, because she doesn't need to be. Like the whole purpose of her winning the title is to help Lyra. It's not to pad Becky's resume. It's supposed to be elevating Lyra. So if they do Evolution, that could be a cool way, for Lyra to win it back, or they could try and make it into like an even bigger story and have her win it at SummerSlam. Because SummerSlam is 2 nights this year. So it would be nice to see a women's mid-card title finally featured also.
That would be true. It's true.
Because they
Do
didn't.
you see a possibility of Bailey somehow aligning herself with Becky Lynch? Or is it more Bailey Becky feuding?
I think we'll see them feuding. I think Becky has said too many harsh things about Bailey for her to just be like, oh yeah, it's fine, we're cool, But based off of Bailey's interviews too, it feels like she wants to figure herself out as a babyface. So I don't think that she wants to like get back to being a heel, because she was a heel for what, like 4 or 5 years? Even if she was like a lovable heel to some people,
Yeah.
Because they like Ding Dong Hello.
Ding Dong Hello is awesome.
Yeah. I think that her and Becky and Bailey could have like a really good feud, and that could become a problem too. I mean, it could be like another thing where, kind of similar to how the women's world title was dealt with at Mania, where it's like you don't like Becky would be the immediate heel, but we could see some tension between Bailey and Lyra. That is interesting, because if Lyra could beat both Bailey and Becky for the title, imagine how good that would make her look too.
Oh yeah.
Like that could, maybe it's a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. I got Becky hands down. Oh yeah, there's only 5 matches, and the main event of no, that's not the main event. Let's talk about this first. McAfee taking on Gunther for the honor of Michael Cole, obviously defending his boy.
There's nothing I will accept other than Gunther winning. So I'm not even going to discuss the possibility of it not happening, because, as the kids say, I will crash out if it doesn't.
I love McAfee. I really do. I want to see Gunther chop the living hell out of him, and like that's how he wins. Do the cool McAfee stuff you do, when in matches. I'm love that. But if you want to make Gunther a monster, if you want to make him, you do it. You got to have him do stuff like that.
And if his rumored next opponent really is who they are claiming it will be, which we'll talk about, they can't have him going against him losing to a commentator. Like that's not a great start to that, you know? I just really would not be surprised if that's what happens, and I'll be so mad. So I really what?
I'm praying that it doesn't.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing is if McAfee wins either just cleanly or with help from somebody, I'll legitimately think that will be one of the worst booking decisions of Triple H's era or of WWE for however many years. Like that is an absolute joke. Legitimate joke.
I have to 100% agree with you. And I don't, it's not that I don't want to, but like, you're right. Like, you're 100% right. And like, put fandom aside, you need to make Gunther a monster without the championship. Like, there needs to be some aura about Gunther that isn't gold.
Well, and like the bad guy saying McAfee wins after Goldberg spears Gunther. No, absolutely not. That cannot happen. Goldberg can spear him after he wins. Like it does not. It like to me, no, because like this is why when we were talking about this last week, we were saying like wins and losses matter in certain contexts, and in this context, having Gunther lose is so damaging to the Gunther character and the future of him in WWE. It would be so bad. And there is a way that Gunther could still feud with Goldberg, right? Like there's a way he can just annihilate McAfee. Maybe he comes out on Raw and he's all cocky and arrogant, like, look at what I did to McAfee. He's not here tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then Goldberg's music hits because Gunther is like, I can beat anybody. Look at me, blah, blah, blah. And Goldberg's like, fuck you. And he comes out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way for them to go about it where I'm not going to love that because I don't want him to feud with Goldberg unless he wins, as I've said. But there doesn't need to, they don't need Pat McAfee to win a match against Gunther. Like, what are we doing?
If Gunther's going to face who, I'm just going to say it's Goldberg. We're going to talk about more at length. But if they are going to do Goldberg, like what I'm trying to do. It's better to have him demolish this commentator and then demolish, and I mean like essentially kill this legend and kill his career. You know, that that's how you build up a ferocious animalistic monster that when he steps in the ring, get the hell away from him.
Well, because if he loses to McAfee, even by some sort of interference, how does that make it seem credible that he could beat Goldberg, even if Goldberg is 83 years old? Like you're not
brings out a walker when he's blowing out smoke through his pyro.
It's just like I don't know how that does anything for Gunther at all. Like it would be so bad. And Pat McAfee at the end of the day is a commentator. Cool. He wants to live out his wrestling dreams. That's fine. But again, you don't have to do that off of the back of somebody who literally goes in the ring every single week and is a professional wrestler. You sit at a desk. You don't need to win a match.
Who the hell is Trixie? Get the hell out. I'm taking. All right. John Cena, Randy Orton for the final time in a main event for the WWE Undisputed Championship. This one's going to slap. This one is going to go so hard.
It has to be Cena. Because Cena's only had the title for 2 weeks. Feels like a heck of a lot longer than that, but it's only been 2 weeks. As great as I feel like it could be, like if Randy won and then maybe he turns heel and goes against Cody, or Cody turns, I don't know, like as great as we'd want to see Randy versus Cody, I don't know how you take the title off of Cody Rhodes after a year, give the title to John Cena for 17, and then you take it off him 2 weeks later. Again, what does that do to any of the stories that we've been paying attention to for the last 6 months? Like, that would be so bad. So I feel like it has to be Cena. I mean, Randy will probably get another title run, but not right now.
I want to see Cena just do whatever he has to beat Randy Orton.
I kind of want to see what we saw at Mania, though.
No,
Like,
that's
he's just
what I mean.
Doing the bare minimum. Like,
oh, it's going to be. It's going to
Yeah.
be that, and that's why it's going to slap for me. I don't care about what the IWC says. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a spot heavy match. It's going to be long. It's going to be drawn out. I don't care because it's telling a story. And in that story, do I want to see some nonsense interference? Yes, I do. I don't think we're going to see Travis Scott.
He's training, apparently.
Yeah, good.
At Booker T's. Yeah.
Good. Fine.
He's
Get in the ring with Cody.
Oh, jeez.
Like, let's see it.
He's like a string bean, though.
Exactly.
He's like 120 pounds. Like,
exactly. Like, imagine Braun Breaker spearing him. Motherfucker would split in half.
Yeah, he would die on live TV.
Oh my
literally.
God.
Like part of 1,000 Ways to Die.
Getting speared by Braun Breaker. That has to be. But yeah, there's not much more to say other than this is going to be, a nostalgic match for us wrestling fans, the John Cena fans from Basic Thugonomics to now. Yeah, I saw this too, that they it would be interesting if they did a callback to their title match where Orton was going to lose and he slapped the referee, which forced a disqualification. Cena wins, but he's not the champion. Orton retains. That would be such a slap in the face. Pun not intended, but to the audience. It also would be very on brand for this new Cena heel.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Wouldn't that be kind of funny? Like it's so iconic to me because people are still they're crying still about the main event of Mania.
You're not following the story.
You're not. And that's the thing is like I get it in a way. Like I don't. But the thing is I think people had such high expectations of what that match was going to be, and they weren't taking into account like the fact that Cena is like 48 years old, or he was almost 48 at the time, that he said plenty of times that he wanted to ruin wrestling, that he wasn't there to entertain people. He was like just there to do business and win that title. Like he's not going to look like he's putting in a lot of effort. So if the same thing happens where he's like, you know what, fuck this after a while, and he just like slaps the ref and that's the way it ends, go for it, dude. Like that's just gonna get him booed more. So
you'll get booed out of the arena.
Yeah, dude, but I'm here for it. Like they've got to keep doing that kind of stuff because people are like, he's not a credible heel. He's this, he's that. Like they're just complaining about this heel run that they've begged for 15 years. And so like if he can do more stuff that's like low-hanging fruit, easy ways to get booed, I'm for it. Cuz I'm enjoying it. Like I don't love that he's not there every week, but I still I mean, I like John Cena, so
I'm a John Cena fan.
Yeah. No big deal or anything.
No big deal.